because I know that some people, you know, things happen and people can't get logged on, etc. So, right, thank you very much. Thanks for coming on. As I was saying just before, this is just going to be 15, 20 minutes just going through something that I think you'll find quite useful if you're looking to build your business on Facebook. So something about me, just quickly, if we haven't spoken before, if you don't know much about me, I've not been with Melaleuca for very long, but I've been in network marketing since January, and it's been a learning curve for sure. So I really wish that I knew these bits before. So hopefully you can sort of learn something a bit quickly for you. For my Melaleuca journey, I got to director in pace setter time frame. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. And actually, the 8 people that I enrolled were all enrolled in 3 weeks. And that was when things really sort of clicked in for me, and I realised what I needed to do, and I, you know, started getting on with it. So 3 weeks, and I enrolled 8 people, which, don't get me wrong, is no record. But if you're looking to get to director or to help someone else get to director, then this could certainly help you, because this is exactly what I did to get those 8 people. So all of those 8 people came from Facebook. So let's talk about this then. Who are we looking for? Now, I would say there are 3 types of people that we need to look for when we're building our business online on Facebook, and we want to do it fairly quickly. Now, I'm not telling you at all that you're going to be millionaires overnight. That's not going to happen, and it's certainly not going to be something that you can do with the click of your fingers. You know, it's going to take a little bit of effort and consistency. But there are 3 types of people we're looking for. So network marketers, ideally unhappy network marketers, but those are quite hard to spot, because of course network marketers like to portray that everything's rosy and that they're getting loads of sales and blah, 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 all the rest of it. Okay, so ideally we want unhappy network marketers. Of course we don't want to take anyone away from a company that they're happy with, but there are a lot of unsatisfied network marketers out there, so we're looking for those people. We're also looking for socialites. So what I mean by that is the people who are on Facebook to make friends with other people. Now, they might not be in network marketing. They might have never heard of network marketing. They're just on Facebook to make friends, to perhaps look for job opportunities in their careers. I know a lot of people are using Facebook to sort of branch out, make connections, a bit like LinkedIn. People are using Facebook in a similar way. So we've got the socialites. And you can tell who these people are by simply looking at their Facebooks. I mean, if they've got an open Facebook and they're talking a lot and they're active and they're on their daily, those would be sort of the socialites. Okay, we need to look for those people. And I would say students as well. Students are absolutely fantastic with social media. So they're really going to get stuck in with this particular system, I'm sure. And of course, they're really ambitious. I mean, being a student takes hard work, dedication, consistency, all of those things. So students are absolutely another type of people that we should be looking for. So for the people that have just logged in, don't worry, I'm recording it, but you haven't missed anything yet, really. So don't worry. So what are these 3 types of people interested in? Okay, so the type of people that we're looking for, we need to find people that are interested in health, of course, clean living, fitness, eco-friendly products, online shopping perhaps, those sorts of things. And they would make perfect customers, of course, for Melaleuca. Now, I do know that everybody can benefit from Melaleuca, absolutely everybody. But what I'm trying to do is highlight to you the people that we can target to really move your business forward quickly. Okay, so these are the sorts of people that are going to be more likely to say yes to you quicker. Okay, some people take a little bit more work, but if they already have an interest, then we can, of course, capitalize on that. Business builders, what will they be interested in? Typically, helping others, sales, marketing, entrepreneurship, of course, personal development, networking, and social media. So we're looking for these types of people. But how do we find them? This is what I want to show you. Okay, Facebook has a keyword search now. It seems to be changing its search facility all the time. This is the most recent search facility that there is. So the keyword search works like this. I'm going to actually show it to you. Oops, if I can get off my screen. I'm going to show it to you on Facebook so you can see it for yourself. So let's say we're looking for people who are already in network marketing. So people who are in network marketing are more than likely to like Eric Worre, aren't they? So we put people in Basingstoke, that's my area, or you could put your area, you know, whatever it is, Hampshire, whatever you like, who like Eric Worre. Now, this will not bring up any results if you yourself don't like Eric Worre. Okay, so you have to have gone onto the Eric Worre Network Marketing Pro page and have liked it. Okay, and then it will bring up the results. So then you can see it brings up your friends. If you click see all, it will give you a long, endless list of people that like Eric Worre. So I've got all the people that I'm friends with that like Eric Worre, and there are loads more. Okay, so that's one example. Loads of people who live in my area who like Eric Worre. Perfect. So I can target them very easily. We can also go to, I'm just going to remind myself because you have to write it in a certain way. So people who, you have to write people who work and then the title of their job. So it can't be people who work in a estate agency. That doesn't work. And let me just show you what comes up if you put something that doesn't fit the keyword search. So if you put people who work in a estate agency, you'll see nothing comes up with the people bit like it did last time. And if you click people, it doesn't come up with anything. So what you need to write is people who work estate agent. Okay, and then it says current estate agent, seal, and you can go through this long list of people who are estate agents. All right, loads and loads of people. As an example, let's hope this works. People who work yoga instructor, like our Sarah. Hopefully this works. Haven't tried this one. Yeah, current yoga instructors. So Sarah, for you, you could quite easily reach out to other people who are very similar to you. I mean, that's going to be very simple and easy. I know, it's really good, isn't it? So another thing you can do, I found quite good, people who work full-time mum, okay, because you know some people will put their title as full-time mum. Up it brings loads of full-time mums. Perfect. I mean, who else is better for Melaleuca than the full-time mums who are at home? I mean, it's absolutely amazing. So those are just some of the examples. As I said, you have to have liked the page. So if, for example, you want to find a page, so you've got, there is one that's just called health. Let me just try and find it. Typically it hasn't come up first. Pages. I mean, you can use this yourself and find out how it all works. But look, there's an actual page called health, and that's got 6 million people who like it. So you could go, people who live in London who like health. I think that's how you do it. Hold on, let's just check it works. Because you have to use the certain keywords. Yeah. So it's the certain keywords that it picks up on. So there you go. Everybody in London who has liked health. Now what it means by health is that page called health. Okay. So it's bringing up that exact page. So also you could go people who live in Basingstoke who like Forever Living. So it's likely that anyone who has gone on the Forever Living products page and liked it probably is working with Forever Living or has worked with Forever Living in the past. So, I mean, because I've worked with Forever Living, I could connect with these people and speak to them about how they're getting on with Forever Living. If you've worked with any other companies, you could do that as well. Okay, so it's just a way of finding people very simply using Facebook. We can also use groups. Now, in particular, I hope Holly's on the call, but Holly is my little group's superstar. She's enrolled 2 people this week alone by simply using groups. So she's using MLM groups, network marketing groups, work from home groups. And what she's doing is going into these groups and posting about Melaleuca indirectly, just sort of saying about people looking for opportunities, that kind of thing. And she's posting in these groups. So if you look at these groups, you've probably already seen these, but there are thousands of people in these groups, absolutely thousands of people. Another way that you can use the groups, if you don't want to actually post in them, is you can go into one of these groups, go to members, and it actually brings up everybody in the group. So if you wanted to search by join dates, these are the people that have joined recently. Okay, so there are going to be people on here that aren't actually real, so beware of those. But look for people that are a similar age to you, that have similar interests to you. So perhaps if you see they've got children in their picture or whatever it is, or they look like someone that you'd get along with, then have a look at them. You could have a look at their profile, send them a message, okay, and connect with them. Now, I like to go to people who have recently added because they're going to be the ones that are active. If you were to scroll all the way to the end of the list to these people who sort of joined months and months and years ago, they might not be active anymore. So it's better to go for the active ones, I think. So that's another way of using groups to find people. And then pages is another way to find people. Now, I'm a little bit obsessed with the book, The Slight Edge, at the moment. I love it. I absolutely love that book. It's amazing. If you are looking for other people who are interested in The Slight Edge, we can go to this page and look, 309 people have liked this post about personal development books. Now, those people are going to be the type of people that we're interested in speaking to. So we can look at these people's profiles, have a look at what they're doing, and have a look and see if they would be somebody that we think that we would get on well with. Okay, so some people have quite tied down profiles. You can't see too much information. But what she has got there is that she's with Arbonne in Australia, which is, you know, perfect. She might be looking for something to go alongside that. She's obviously a family person, looks like she has fun. Those kind of things is what we're looking for. Okay, so that is a quick breakdown on how we can find people and where we find them. Okay, I hope that's helped. But what I also want to run through is, I mean, I'm sure that everybody on this call already knows this because I know you're all pros, but to run through what I would do to approach those people is I would send them a quick message just to say, hey, I came across your profile, and then I'd link into sort of how I found them, whether it's, I mean, I'm not going to say to them, oh, I was deliberately looking for people in my area who like health. You're not going to say that. But you could say, oh, we have got similar interests, and if you notice that we've got mutual friends as well, perhaps say that. Or if you're looking for someone who is an estate agent, and that's because you've been an estate agent, maybe say something about that, okay? Then send them a friend request, all right? Always do send them a friend request, because even if they don't start chatting back to you straight away, if they're on your Facebook, then they're in your funnel, okay? I like to call it a funnel, you know. Once they're seeing your posts and they're seeing everything that you do, they could at any time come back and speak to you again. So when they accept your friend request, you know, say thank you for accepting, and then ask them questions about themselves. All right, not rocket science at all. Very, very simple. Get them talking about themselves. You want to show an interest in their life so that they start to like you, basically. Okay, so as you would if you were talking to a stranger in the street. And of course, we want to lead them on to looking at the business. Okay, that's really what we're going for. And you need to find a link between what they're saying and the business. So it could be health, children, money, time, whatever it is, we're going to use that to link to the business. Now, I'm sure you already know how to do that, but basically based on what they say, you would then say, oh, you know, it's funny you say that. I actually work with a manufacturing company, blah, 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 okay? And you talk about the business as you would with anyone else, okay? If there is no obvious link between the business and the person, or maybe the conversation's getting a bit dry, it's not going anywhere, I like to throw these out there, okay? And sometimes I get ignored, okay? I'm being honest, sometimes people just ignore me, but most of the time people will reply and come back with something that we can then further the conversation. So I like to use the words just curious. That's something that I learned from Ray Higdon. He is an MLM guru, if you like, top earner in MLM. If you didn't know, he's a really good guy, actually, loads to learn from him. And I like to say, I'm just curious, Joanne, whoever it is, are you interested in health and wellness, whatever it is? Okay, now if we've deliberately found these people from the health page or from some other eco-friendly page or something, then we know that they're interested in that. Okay, we already know that, but we're going to get them to tell us a little bit about their interest. Okay, so you ask them if they're interested. If we've approached them from a business point of view, you could say, Joanne, I see you are a network marketer, estate agent, whatever it is. I wonder if you would be open to a side project if it didn't interfere with whatever it is. Just curious, you know, just take that pressure off. Just say, just curious, and just throwing it out there. So then, of course, we need to lead them on to the overview. I know I'm teaching you how to suck eggs here. I know that you know what to say to get them onto the overview. But the basics are, don't get too overexcited and give too much away by messenger. Okay, that speaks, the overview needs to speak for itself. You need to get them onto that overview or in front of you so you can explain. Now, some people like to resist the overview. And they say things like, oh, why can't you just tell me about it now? To that, I would say, I'd love to tell you about it now, but I'm new to it myself. That could be true for you, or I'm about to jump on a call, or I'm just about to go out now, and it would be better if we could set aside some time. Would you be free at this date or this date to log on to a webinar with our leadership team? You just need a comfortable spot on the sofa and your laptop. Okay, so just again, stress to them that they need to come onto the overview. If people will not come onto the overview, no matter what you do, I will send them a recording, but it is a last resort. I do try to get them to come to the live overview. There's more excitement there. You know, they can't just switch it off and turn it back on when they feel like it. It's a live presentation, which I think is better. Of course, your preference. Do whatever you feel like. But after the overview, so once the overview has spoken for itself, it's you know, the company is that good. We don't need to tell people how good the company is. They'll see it themselves, okay? And then you need to ask them, there are 1, 2, or 3. No matter what number they say, I always use this. Great, sounds like you're ready to get started. That's another thing I learned from Ray Higdon, and it does work. Sounds like you're ready to get started. I don't like to say, what did you like best? You can say that, and it does get good results. But I tend to find that people will come up with like questions and all the rest of that after that. So I go for the 1, 2, or 3. They give me a 1, 2, or 3, and then I say, great, sounds like you're ready to go. If they do ask questions, my advice would be to answer them using third-party tools. Now, the reason I say that is because, remember, we need to be duplicatable. Now, with Facebook, it's so easy for anyone to replicate this stuff. Okay, that's why I personally use Facebook and why I teach Facebook to my team, and it really is working well. So don't overcomplicate this process at all by trying to explain too much to them yourself. Whether or not you have been with the company for a long time or you are an expert, you don't really want them to feel like you're an expert. Because if they think that you're an expert, they might think, oh, well, I could never do that. I'm not an expert. I hope you see what I mean there. So if you use the third-party tools, they'll know that, okay, so Emma just asked me to look at this website. I can ask people to look at that website. That's easy. I can ask people to come onto this overview. That's easy. I can send people a catalogue, you know. We want to be able to be replicated, okay? Or you can link them up with your enroller in a group message. Some people like to see that there's other people involved. They like to get other people's opinions, and the chatty people will like to talk to lots of different people maybe before they join. So you can link them up in a group with your enroller. So a little bit of troubleshooting. What happens if they don't reply? Move on. Don't worry about it. There's 61 million people in the UK. You're not going to worry if they don't reply. What happens if they say no? Okay, that's fine. Not everyone's going to say yes. There'll be a few reasons as to why they say no. The first reason will be they don't have enough information. The second reason will be they don't understand. Or the third reason might be they're genuinely happy with something else. Okay, now let's ask them for a referral. Very important. Ask them simply, do you know anyone who would be interested in the health benefits of removing chemicals from their home? Or do you know anyone who would want to earn an extra income from home by leveraging their household expenditure? This might also make them think about the simplicity of the business. So it's always worth asking for a referral. Now, how long should you do this for? I would say 5 people a day, and it takes around 1 hour. It's not a long time. The only thing is, if some people don't reply straight away, you might find that your phone's going off constantly throughout the day. Now, I find that, but what I do is I just ignore my messages until it comes to a time when I can sit down and work through them for a set amount of time, you know, so that I'm not always on the phone or I'm not always doing business stuff, because I've got family, a young family, you know, I'm spending time with my partner as well, doing housework. We've got normal things to do as well. So don't let it consume your life. That would be my advice. Okay, if you let it consume your life, you're going to burn out too quickly. If you do an hour a day, every day, that will compound your results. Okay, it's like the slight edge. Go and read the slight edge. So 5 people a day is going to get you the results you want. It certainly worked for me. I hope it works for you. I hope you found this interesting. I've run on a little bit because I know I'm a warbler. But any questions, let me know. Go and try the Facebook keyword search for yourself. You're going to be really surprised. If it keeps coming back with errors or not giving anyone, try taking out like the add words. So things like who works as a estate agent. Take the as out. All right, so focus on making it people who work full-time mum, you know, very, very simple. People who like health, all right? It does also, if it's too much of a big audience, so if you were to just say people who like health, that's millions. So it's going to want you to break that down. So people in Basingstoke who like health, okay? People who, you know, in your area, whatever it is, okay? I hope that's been helpful, guys. Thank you so much for logging in. Let me know how you get on. All right, speak to you all soon. See you later, everybody. You're welcome. Speak to you soon.